Robbie Olson here, Team Dynamic Discs. A few of you on the page have asked me to do a in the bag, and I finally got a good feel for my revamped set of discs in here from last weekend. I had a tournament up in Freedom, Wisconsin, and I liked how they worked out for me. So I'll start with the putters here. I putt with a Classic Judge. I have one newer for my longer putts, and one beat in a little bit for my putts within like close 25 and in. And for my upshots, like 100 feet and in, I'm using the Fusion Judge. Really liking it for the straight, like tunnel shots, just little up shots. It's pretty easy to read in a wind too. Let's go mid ranges. I'm throwing the new Dynamic Disc Suspect. Just recently started throwing it last week. It's definitely a different kind of mid range, a lot slower. It's almost like a tweener between a putter and mid range. Nice I use it for shots from 100 feet to like 250. You can throw it flat and it's going to hyzer out. You can throw it with hyzer and it's just going to stay on that hyzer line you're going to throw it on. It has a really good feel. Little bead on the bottom, which feels really nice in the hand. And they're really flat. And that feels always good in your hand. But the Suspect is definitely something you should check out. For my straight mid-range to turn over shots, I've been using the VIP Warship. Have one that's a little heavier, a little more beefy, just so I can put a little more on it and have it go a little bit farther. Then I'm throwing one that's a little bit lighter, just so I can sort of manipulate it, throw it on hyzer flips, and throw it with the tailwind, what have you. I really like this disc, and just the feel in my hand feels really nice. And for my turnover mid range, I'm using the Tourney Tersas. I think that's how you say it. But yeah, really predictable line. You can throw it on any kind of line, really. Manipulate the disc. You can throw it on an anhyzer, it's going to stick with that line. You can throw it soft and straight, and it's just going to go really straight with barely any turn or fade. And it's definitely going to stay in my bag for some time. I don't think they can really top a mid-range like this. They're hard to come by. For my beefy mid-range that I'm throwing for shots 350 and up is the Gold Line Pain. I really like it because I can just throw it really hard, flat, and it stays flat and hyzers predictably. And I can really count on it in most winds. I haven't really found a wind yet that really made me double guess what I was throwing, so it's always a good thing. I like to be confident in what I'm throwing. If there's any doubt in my mind that it might flip over or anything like that, I'm probably not going to have it in my bag. I just like having that confidence where you can just go all out with it. Drivers. For my just max distance, ripping into it, I've been throwing the VIP Giant. I haven't really flipped them over or anything, so very predictable flight. I can throw it on a flat, really flat, and it's always going to hyzer out predictably. I can throw it with spike hyzers. I throw it sidearm. Really just an all-around great disc for me. This pink one, for some reason, is very overstable, or this green one, not so much, but I like both of them. For like windy holes, windy shots, throwing the Boatman, VIP Boatman, very predictable in the wind, very straight flight for most of the flight. Sometimes turns over a little bit, but it's always going to come back left, which I really like. I can really use it for a lot of spike hyzers as well for holes like 350 to 400, and I like to just for any kind of hole 450 and up, I'll rip into this. My overstable fairway driver, if you want to call it that, is the Triple X. It's very predictable. Throw it on a spike hyzer, it's always spike, especially this one always just divots into the ground. Doesn't really have much of a skip to it for me. It's sort of hits, bounces, and it just feels really good in the hands. Nice and flat. Just the perfect speed for me, where I can throw this. Like I'm really using this just for spike hyzers or certain shots where like 250 to like 360, 370. Like where it calls for the shot. It was more or less where I'm throwing this. For my fairway driver, I'm throwing the Lucid Escape. I really like the Lucid Plastic just because it seems it's a little less stable. I can just sort of manipulate the disc, throw it on a hyzer, have it flip up, have it come back. I can throw it on a really long hyzer and it sticks to that line. So I really like the Escape just for my fairway drives and open holes. Probably if it's in the open, I'd probably throw it for like 400-foot holes, dead straight, or in the woods where I need to get through a gap really quick and make sure I get there. And for just max distance, just throwing all out and big bombs and throwing the Fusion Trespass. This disc goes really far. I'll use this if it's a calm day, I'll be throwing these all day if it's calm, or if I have a tailwind. And I'll use these for holes in the opening, like 450 to 500. I'll be throwing these. Otherwise, I'll be throwing something a little shorter. But definitely, like the flight of this is really predictable. You can pop it up on hyzers. You can do almost anything you need with this. Touch sidearms. Just a really great disc, and I want to just still learning all these discs. But this is what I'm throwing for now, and if it changes, I'll let you know.